Welcome to the Enlightenment Academy, where the journey of discovering your inner magic begins. In a world filled with endless possibilities, we invite you to explore the depths of your being and unlock the mysteries of your true potential. Through insightful teachings, transformative practices, and enlightening conversations, we empower you to access the brilliance that resides within you. Join us as we embark on a path of self-discovery, empowerment, and spiritual awakening. Are you ready to tap into the infinite wellspring of magic within you? Here is your host, Venus Castleberg.
Hello, everyone. How are you today? I'm honored to be here with you, and I used to have a radio show on Om Times Radio back when they didn't have TV, and I really just enjoyed that. Not only the people of Om Times, who are very near and dear to me, but also all of you out there in the land, the earth, all the humans and humanoids out there. And I am just so grateful for the ability and this opportunity and the possibility of talking to you today about the magic of meditation. Meditation is something that literally transformed my life. Years and years and years ago, I was somebody who was in my head all the time. I would worry about things, I'd plan things, I'd structure things. Everything was, here to here to here. Hello, Facebook user. Hello, Rodani. Thank you for joining us. And I would overthink things. I would worry about everything. I spent a good majority of my life trying to fit in and be normal like everybody else. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. But I also, I was trying to control everything in my life. And I don't know if you know anything about control, but it doesn't really work. It's kind of hard to control things because life is unpredictable. As much as you want to plan your next date or your next thing, something happens that makes it change direction or go a direction you didn't think it was going to go. So for me, I was in my head all the time. Man, was I in my head, thinking. And I had a shaman teacher at the time who was like, you need to meditate for an hour or 2 hours every day. And I'll be honest with you, that was very daunting and very difficult. It took me years to quiet down, settle down, to not be thinking about everything, to not be planning everything. But what I want to encourage you as we're talking about meditation, because maybe you're somebody who's like, hey, I've tried to meditate and it doesn't ever work for me. Like I always fall asleep, or I can't get my mind to shut up, or it's not possible for me. I felt that way too. And I spent years, it was almost like this wrestling match between me and my thoughts, me and my mind. And the number one thing I'll start with is practice. It just takes practice, and you don't have to do it for an hour or 2 hours. You could do it for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, just a little bit of a practice. And says, what a sweet dog. I'm like, I don't know who has a dog. I have a dog, but she's on the floor over there. So, but the willingness to just play with it, right? And if you're falling asleep, because I've heard this recently, even if you're somebody who's falling asleep, you're not wrong. for number one. You're not wrong, and you're not doing it wrong. Falling asleep, believe it or not, a lot of times falling asleep means your cognitive mind has to get out of the way for you to access this meditative state. So I don't think there's anything wrong with falling asleep. I think that that's part of the journey sometimes. Sometimes you can't seem to stay awake in meditation. Sometimes you can't get your mind to be quiet. And I'll share some great news and a little trick because I like my tricks. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Hello, Rosie. Welcome. But you can reach a meditative state in a number of different ways, right? You can do breath work, basically focusing on your breath. You can do visualizations. You can do where you're visualizing yourself through something. You can do a guided meditation, something that somebody does for you. You can do there's like a music meditation. So like a lot of times do it with like drumming. Shamans use drums to help get into the meditative state. But all that aside, right, like you're like, okay, maybe all that sounds esoteric. I'm going to challenge all of you that you've been in a meditative state at one point or another in your life already, even if you've never even tried to meditate. And it was probably when you were doing art, like you were doing some sort of art project and the mind went blank, or you were baking or cooking something and the mind went blank, right? Or got your bars run. Access Consciousness has a tool called the bars, and it's 32 points on the head, and it helps the mind go blank. But it can happen anywhere. Walking in nature is one of my favorites. Exercise, like when was the last time you did exercise and you were so focused on the exercise, you're so in the present moment that your mind goes blank. These are all meditative states. So you can reach it in a number of different ways, and there's no right or wrong way to meditate. There's just a lot of different ways to meditate. And meditation isn't for everyone, and that's okay too. However, I will say for me that once I finally committed to doing meditation every day, when my mind first started to go blank or be empty, it was like somebody turned off the fire hose. There was such a sense of peace and ease in my body, my being, my life that just arrived, because it was like there was no more thoughts. There was no more like, I have to get it right, trying to avoid being wrong, trying to fit in. Well, what if that person doesn't like me? You know what? Not everybody likes me, and I'm okay with that. And what if that's like, again, it's like all this energy that we put into like these thoughts and these concerns about what do other people think about us. When in actuality, does it really matter? The only person in the world it matters that it matters. Can't get that out. The only point of view of the person that matters in the world is you, for you. Meaning nobody else's points of view really matter anyway. Right, but just think about like how much time we spend in our minds trying to get it right, avoid getting it wrong, so that people like us and to avoid people not liking us. But if all of that was to go away, What do you perceive? What do you know would be right there in front of you? When you're fully present, what are you aware of? Everyone and everything all at once? But when you're fully present, are you fully with you? And in that presence, in that, and it's not a one point. It's not like a balancing point on a teeter-totter, right? It's not that one little spot. You're like, it's not the one spot. You're going to still have this like, wow, I just got some peace and ease and I got some space. And then, oh, my mind. And then you're like, oh, there's some peace and ease. And then, it's okay. That's going to be part of the journey too, right? And I think the key is just not make yourself wrong. But if you have that moment of space, whenever you have that moment of space, however it shows up for you, when you have that moment, be grateful for that moment. Because the more gratitude you have for those moments, the more they'll grow. And I will honestly say, truth be told, after 5 years of meditating for an hour or 2 hours every day, and then essentially 9 years of getting my bars run, access conscious bars, and meditating. So what's that? A total of 14 years. And, trying meditation, and definitely I did a lot more before that, teaching yoga and stuff. But those really focused time of meditation and getting my mind clear, I will honestly tell you that most of the time my mind is blank. It's just, I just don't have a lot of monkey chatter going on in my mind. And some of you out there might be like, yeah, that's something that you can have and I can't have. And I'm like, no, if you knew me before, and some of you have known me for a very long time, if I could get there, so can you. But the invitation is even beyond that, because there's something, not only do you get this space, do you get this ease, do you get this calmness, relaxation that is just there, but in that space can, not always, but can often come downloads or information, not thoughts, like, because your thoughts are like this, like A plus B equals C. if I do this, this will happen. If your thoughts have this formula and this step by step, this is how it's going to happen. When it's something that's coming from the universe, when it's like a download or a gift from the universe or a message from your spiritual team, when it's something like that, it feels like it comes out of nowhere. It has this energy of like, oh, there's space. Now there's something that can drop into that space. So there's this wellspring of magic within you that you can tap into when you give yourself some space, when you give yourself some ease and calmness and blankness. And that's the piece that I wanted to invite you to today, was the piece that is available if you're willing to just take 5 minutes a day. Take 5 minutes a day. And here's a great guided meditation. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. For you to just do 5 minutes a day, imagining you're talking to your true self. Now, some people call it the higher self. The higher self, true self, is not right or wrong, good or bad. I don't call it the higher self just because I don't believe that it's necessarily higher than me, that it's right? My true self is who I truly am without my thoughts and my feelings and my emotions It's that space that I be, right? That relaxation that I am naturally. Now, you may not be somebody who brings a lot of relaxation. You might bring a lot of high energy. That's awesome. We need you on the world too. You don't have to be a clone of me. Please don't be a clone of me. We only need more we only need one of me. And we need one of you, right? Because you have a uniqueness to you. You have a capacity to you that's uniquely yours and uniquely you. Right. So just wanted to caveat that a little bit just so that you are not thinking that now you have to go meditate for 2 hours a day and become a Zen master. No. You might get the meditative state for you when you dance. I do. I do love to dance. I get the meditative state, right? Like when you're just in the moment, you're having fun, you're dancing. There's nothing outside anymore, right? There's no more like, does that person like me? How do I look? What am I doing? I don't know if you've ever done it. If you have never done it, I highly recommend it because I think it's super fun. At least it was for me. But it's a great practice in like doing something that and then not caring what people think is go to like one of those free form dance things where it's not a regimented step by step do this dance, but it's like literally they play music and they say, just let your body go and do free form. And you might be like shaking all around, you might, right? But go to that and close your eyes and let the world melt away. So you don't care, you're not looking at what anybody else is doing, and you're not worried about what they're thinking about by looking at you and what you're doing. But let the whole world go away and just see what shows up in that space. Do you have freedom in your body that you've never had before? Do you have an awareness that you've never had before? I don't know. That's your home play if you choose to accept it. And I'd love to hear feedback from anyone if you go do that and come back later. Let me know how it went, because there's something in that willingness to just be free and to not care what other people think. I'm a little older. I don't think I'm old, but whatever, at all. I don't think I'm old at all. But there was a point in my life where I also had to look at, like, whose life is it anyway? And that's when I was like, this is my life, and I'm going to live my life and not care what other people think. So that might have a contributing factor to how my mind is blank most of the time now. Or it's just the meditation and getting your bars run. Many, many tools out there. And there's many different types of meditation. You can do research. There's, like I said, you can do different breath work and visualizations, and you can have things guided, and you can count. Count. You ever, did you know that counting sheep is a form of meditation? Welcome to my show. I crack myself up, but it's true. Like, if you think about it, like you're focusing on one point. That's kind of like what, meditation is like getting you to focus on the here and now, getting you to focus on the one point. So if you're counting sheep trying to go to sleep, right? 1, 2, 3 sheep, 4 sheep, 5 sheep, right? But eventually that focusing on that point and that count, like you'll go to sleep because you're like so focused on the sheep, and then your mind goes blank and then you go sleep. But when we struggle with going to sleep, that's often, not always, but often because the mind is running like really, there's a lot going on up there. So how do we get the mind quiet? And when we get the mind quiet, what else is possible in that space and in that energy of, I just want to say, possibilities? Because what if we spend a lot of time in our lives distracting ourselves from the possibilities because we're constantly letting our minds run the show? I mean, literally run the show. Like, don't do that because that person doesn't like it, or don't do that because you'll get in trouble, or you should. I love this too. Like, you should do that because that's the right thing to do, and that's what you said you'd do, right? But how much of the shoulds and the have tos and the should nots, how much of that has created what you really want to create in your life? And now, if you look at or take on this magic of meditation possibility, and you really actively choose to open your mind, to clear your mind, to let go of all the junk in the drawers that's keeping you from having that space and that ease. And then when you have that space and that ease, what else is possible? What shows up? What comes in? What do you begin to learn and know that you know? Because you've given yourself some space to be aware of that, instead of being distracted by the everyday, like there's dishes in the sink and I should vacuum the floors, and so and so is going to be home at a certain time and I should have dinner ready, like, right? So my challenge to you, again, another active home play, if you choose to accept it, is to just start and see where it goes. To just take 5-10 minutes a day, just for you, just for fun. You don't have to tell anyone. You don't have to explain what you're doing. You don't need to get anybody's validation. And just take the time to focus on your breath, or to do a guided visualization and allow yourself to just be quiet for a few minutes and see what shows up. I recommend when you do that you have a journal handy, that you have a piece of paper handy, because sometimes some information might come through. So it's good to write it down in the moment, because you'll probably forget what had happened. I mean, you'll remember kind of the essence of it, but sometimes, if there's an actual message coming through, you might forget what that message is. So I always recommend having a piece of paper and a journal a pen handy. And then practice. See where it goes. I'm really actually excited because today, after our break, we're gonna do a guided visualization and a meditation. If you can stick around for just a few more minutes, we're going to have a short break right now, and then we will come back and do our guided visualization meditation. And I hope you enjoy it. See you soon.
Om Times TV. Imagine becoming a super influencer. Reinvent yourself, invest in your brand, and then manifest your success with a robust spheric approach. Om Times Media and Broadcasting offers a unique and multifaceted way to become the spiritual and conscious influencer you deserve to be by putting your message across our powerful platform with its proven record of integrity and excellence. Through our produced shows, Om Times offers the opportunity to become a social media TV personality, a radio show host, an Om Times magazine columnist, and a syndicated podcaster, all in one shot. By live streaming your show on Om Times TV and broadcasting it across the extensive Om Times radio and TV networks, you become more than a host. You become an ambassador and a force for positive change. Om Times. Open yourself to the possibilities.
If I could be you, and you could be me for just 1 hour. If we could find a way to get inside each other's minds. Walk a mile in my my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Well, before you abuse, criticize, and accuse, walk a mile in my shoes.
Hello, everyone. Welcome forward. And again, thank you all for being here on our first episode of Enlightenment Academy. I'm excited to see where we go in today and in future episodes for sure. So stay tuned this same time every day on Monday. So for our guided visualization meditation today, I'd love for you to find a comfortable place to sit down, to close your eyes. If you are driving, please do not close your eyes. I know that seems like obviously, but who knows? Maybe somebody out there is like, oh, she said close my eyes. So I'm saying only if you have a quiet space. Try to give yourself a quiet space or a space where you're not necessarily distracted by other people or other beings. Just allow this to be your time. And you can listen to this now, and I highly recommend listening to it multiple times. You could even use this as your daily meditation for your practice if you like to. So that comfortable seat, you can lay down, and I will tell you this, when you lay down, you do tend to fall asleep more. So if you'd like to be awake and aware, doesn't mean you're not going to fall asleep, but if you'd like to be awake and aware for messages or information that may come through, then I do recommend that you sit up. It's just a little bit more conducive to staying awake. But if you're looking for meditation to put you to sleep, awesome. Go ahead and lay down, listen all you want, and have a great rest. And then just breathe. Focus on your breath. Follow it in. Follow it out. Follow it in. Follow it out. Inhale in. Exhale out. And just for fun, something that I love to do is let's all just lower our walls and barriers, even the ones we don't know about. Just try and uncreate them. And it's okay. You can pick them back up after this meditation if you want to. But I find that when we have walls and barriers, that it's actually the walls and barriers where a lot of the thought forms will ping off of. So kind of like that game on television. I'm dating myself a little bit right now, but Pong, where it was like this ball that stayed within the TV screen, and you were trying to keep it in the screen. Well, when you have thoughts and you have all these like I should be's, I have to's, the right and the wrongs, then you're literally like bouncing these thoughts off these walls and these barriers. And when you're bouncing these thoughts off these walls and barriers, they just come back. And then, you follow the rabbit down the rabbit hole and you're like, off in some never land of thoughts and feelings and emotions. Instead of, okay, let's just lower the walls and barriers, even the ones you don't know about. And if thoughts come, notice how without walls and barriers, they have nothing to like bounce off of. They just flow. So thoughts will come, thoughts will go. You're not wrong for having thoughts. You're not right for being blank, right? But just allowing whatever it is that comes in to flow instead of feeling like you need to seize and hold it or make it solid, make it real. And this is the same for like if you start receiving messages or information or getting that download. Like you don't need to hold on to it. Let it be fluid. Let it come through you. If you need to jot a couple notes down, you can do that if you have your pen and paper handy. But really just allowing yourself to just be here, right now, with whatever's going on. Maybe even observing your body and just taking a body scan and noticing, are you feeling tension somewhere? Or are you feeling hot or cold? Or what are you observing? Maybe feeling your hands on your thighs and your thighs under your hands. Or if you have a meditation practice already, you can do a mudra with your hands. You can put your hands in prayer position, whatever works for you. But just observe the energy that you're aware of in your body, around your body. Feeling your feet on the ground, letting your feet connect to the earth, saying hello to the earth. Feeling as you reach down into the earth, how the earth then reaches back to you. Letting your body create a connection, a communion, the simultaneity of gifting and receiving with the earth that happens all the time, whether we think about it or not. And then bringing the awareness to the breath again. This time, drawing energy up from the earth into the root chakra and exhaling the air out, letting the root chakra expand, letting the light go out in all directions. And then inhaling, bringing the energy up from the earth, up through the root chakra to the second chakra, right below the belly button, and allowing that energy to go out, to expand out. And then drawing that energy up from the earth through the root chakra and the second chakra to the third chakra, the solar plexus. And maybe perceiving the color yellow and letting that energy expand out in all directions. And then drawing the energy up from the earth, going through the red root chakra, the orange second chakra, the yellow third chakra, and going to the heart chakra, where we hit the green color, and letting that energy go out in all directions. Almost as if as you hit these chakras, there's this ping, this sound, this vibration, this light that, like a tuning fork, gets rung and then it reverberates out in all directions. Now inhale, drawing the energy up from the earth through the root chakra, the second, the third, the fourth, and now into the fifth chakra and the throat chakra. The color is blue, and allow that energy to reverberate out in all directions. And then drawing that energy up from the earth through the root chakra, the second chakra, third chakra, fourth chakra, throat chakra, and up to the third eye chakra. Allow that energy. It's a violet light, a purple, indigo light, letting that reverberate out in all directions. Allowing this energy to swirl around, all the chakras to swirl around, dancing together, and then pulling the energy up through this root chakra, sacral chakra, the solar plexus chakra, the heart chakra, the throat chakra, the third eye chakra, all the way to the crown chakra. And the crown chakra is a white light, and allowing that energy to reverberate out in all directions. And then just see this flow of energy as it comes up from the earth through all of your chakras, through all of your body, and allowing that energy to overflow out the crown chakra and allow it to fill you up, every fiber of your being, every molecule has this rainbow of energy awakening, allowing the overflow to flow back to the earth, to reach back to the earth energy, to the Mother Earth below us, and up to the heavens, to the sky, to the universe, allowing that energy to reach out and touch. Maybe there's people in your life right now that could use a little bit more love and attention. Maybe they're going through a difficult time. You can send some of this rainbow energy to them. But again, you're doing it with the overflow. That's the other beautiful thing about meditation, is it's one of those places where we get filled back up, and then we can fill other people's tanks because our tanks are full, instead of trying to fill other people's tanks with empty tanks. So letting that overflow go to whoever and wherever you'd like to contribute right now. Maybe there's a country that's pulling on your heartstrings. You can send a little bit of extra of this magical energy to them. Wherever it is, just send it out. And let yourself bask in this energy. Let yourself heal maybe some things that have needed healing for you. It's one of the other major things I've discovered with the practice of meditation is the healing energies that we have available to us within ourselves. We don't actually need something. Sometimes we do, but a lot of the times we don't need something outside of ourselves to heal ourselves, to heal our body. We just need to tune in and see, what is our body asking for? What does it desire and require? What energy do we have access to that we can contribute to it? And the body can completely regenerate itself in 7 years. But what if that could happen even faster? What if there's this wellspring of magic within you that you can tap into at any time for anything that you're asking for in your life? Maybe you're asking for better health. Maybe you're asking for more money. Maybe you're asking for a special relationship. What if that energy of what you are asking for is already within you? And then when you recognize that you are already that you're already healthy, happy, whole, that you have these energies within you, then you become a magnet to the energies outside of you. When you realize that you already are wealthy inside, then you become a magnet to wealth. When you realize that you already are happy, then you become a magnet to happiness. When you realize that you are whole, perfect, and complete within yourself, then you can be a magnet for relationships that add value to your life. Not looking to a relationship to complete you, but a relationship to make you, to be the frosting on the cake. You already are the cake. And anyone that adds value to your life is just frosting. But you have access to all of these energies. The more gifts and capacities that you have, your psychic abilities, your clairvoyance, your clairaudience, you have so many of these talents and abilities from this lifetime and other lifetimes that you can tap into, that you can utilize. But all of that knowledge and all of that energy comes from within and allows you to access and manifest and actualize things in this lifetime. Just letting yourself be present to how much you already have within you. How much is already there. And all you have to do is turn it on like a light switch. Illuminate it. Allow that power and potency and magic within you to shine out. And maybe allow yourself to be different, different than anyone and everyone else. Because the way you do life and living is going to be different than everyone else. Because you are you, and you are unique. But there is this endless chasm, this endless well of everything that you think that you need outside of you already exists inside of you. All you have to do is access it. And remember it. Remember the possibilities. Remember your connection to all of it. To remember the lifetimes that you had other capacities. To remember just remember. There's not something else that you have to do. Where there's no I'll be whole, perfect, and complete when. You are whole, perfect, and complete right now. There isn't something outside of you that miraculously then makes you a whole person or a better person or a complete person. You are already a complete person, exactly the way you are and exactly the way you are not. Even if you can't see that now, it's true. You are whole, perfect, and complete right now. Not someday when, or not even yesterday when. Right now, in this moment. In this moment, with this meditation with you, there is no one else but you. You and the universe. You and your body and the universe. Wouldn't life be a lot easier if we weren't constantly looking outside of ourselves, thinking that we need something outside of ourselves, thinking that we need validation from others, or we need to know that we're right, or we need to prove that somebody else is wrong, or we need money. Right? Whenever there's a need in our world, ever notice when you need someone or something, how they run away screaming? So true is most everything that you think that you need. And if you could just tap in to the fact that everything that you think you need outside of you already exists inside of you. Many of you, if not all, have the ability of alchemy, of turning something into gold. You all do, but I had to give a few of you room to believe that maybe you were not capable of alchemy. Because everybody else is capable of alchemy, but not you. I'm kidding. All of you have magic within you. You have abilities. Everybody has abilities. And everybody has access to all abilities. Which ones would you like to tap into? Which ones would you like to bring forth? Which ones would you like to have as part of your life and living in this life? Maybe you were an herbalist in another lifetime. And in this lifetime, you're like, yeah, I'd like to have that capacity again. Or I could heal the body with herbs. Or maybe you just want the knowledge and the energy of healing things with herbs, but instead you like to just heal things as if by magic. What would you like? What would you like to tap into? What would you like to know? Maybe there's a burning question that you've had, like you've been wondering the workings of the universe. Why do some things happen this way? You can take time now to ask those questions. Allow yourself to ask for whatever it is that you desire to know, to remember, to be aware of. And just breathe and receive. Breathe and know. Breathe and be aware. Breathe and receive. Maybe allowing yourself to take the next 5, 10, 20 minutes to just write down, what are you aware of? What information, awarenesses, empowerment is coming to you now? What encouragement do you hear? What encouragement do you know? And taking another deep breath. Maybe rubbing your hands together, wiggling your fingers, wiggling your toes. Let yourself come back to this present moment. And I just highly recommend taking a few moments beyond this to just open the stream of consciousness that's pulsating and moving through you right now. And write it all down. Take that pen and piece of paper and write down, what does the universe, your spiritual team, What do your guides want you to know? They're knocking. Are you listening? So grateful for all of you. Thank you for being here on our first episode of many. I look forward to seeing you again next Monday. Have a great day. Bye.